And we're live. And I need to switch maps. Let's use the city map here.
Yeah, I see the stream is working. Although you seem to be streaming it into Twitch, but I don't see it in Discord.
Yeah, I'm not seeing it yet.
That is correct. It's because I had a map you guys aren't ready to see yet. Alright, you should be a go in Discord now.
Yep.
Woohoo!
Okay, good. We got you guys all in Little Calimsham. And there they are. Tarse and Imelda.
We are so small.
Yeah. Puny little ants compared to the dude.
Tarse, there's one thing I was going to ask you, which is that are you like actually trying to conceal that you're Waterdavian nobility?
No, not at all.
Or
I just didn't want to get rousted by all those guards in the market in the wide.
because we previously saw them roughing up people who happen to be violating these laws, right?
Yeah, it looked like they were going through like all the stalls of the vendors, and I mean, people that were solidly of like a merchant class, and they were being hassled and being outsiders. I didn't want to draw any more attention to us with the whole murder thing going on.
Yeah, wise move.
So I just decided it was probably faster and easier to just, go along with the laws, and if we get a pass later on, then I'll go back to being comfortable, but otherwise, that was my plan.
Okay. Well, yeah, I mean, the plan was for us to go meet this lord that we sort of originally took these 3 kind of investigation jobs for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Duke Silvershield.
Yeah, well, should we continue with that? Or is there something else we need to do first, Mike?
There is not anything you need to do first. I don't believe. You are dressed appropriately now, and ready to head to High Hall and hopefully set up a meeting with Duke Silvershield, possibly his assistant, Skund.
Yes, yeah. Skund.
Imberlin Skund. And yeah, you're allowed in, and after a short wait, this place, by the way, is a castle. Like it looks like it probably at one time was used as maybe a nobility, like a king's castle, but it's been kind of repurposed into sort of more of a democratic use. There's a large hall that with many seats that look sort of like a congress kind of a place, and several other meeting rooms, and you're ushered in to a room with the 2 gentlemen you met previously. The Duke and Kimberly were both there, and they greet you. Please come in. Welcome. I can't wait to hear the news of your investigations.
Well, as you recall, we sent, I think it was a night or 2 ago, we sent a message to you with sort of a progress report, which was that we did do that, right? Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, we did. We sent word to Skund. We sent a messenger.
Yeah, so hope you got that. at that time, we had reported that we had investigated 2 out of the 3 parties that you wanted us to, and we hadn't found anything too huge. So since then, we got involved in, snooping around the 3rd place at what was it called, the Long Lantern?
Low Lantern.
The Low Lantern. Well, it turned out that, of the 3 places, that one seemed to be the one with the probably most likely underworld connections. And I say that, though, not because of anything positive that we really discovered, but because the Flaming Fist was also there at the same time, busting the place up. With your connections with the Fist, I'm sure, you've heard about it.
Well, my connections with the Fist aren't what they used to be. Ostensibly, we rule the city, but the Fist is ruled by their marshal. They're a mercenary company, not the official guard of the city. Unfortunately, my command is much more so over the city watch, which polices Upper City. But I'd certainly heard of their crackdown of Low Lantern. But so were you able to interrogate the proprietress before this occurred?
Let's just say that we were on the scene when it happened. Thanks to us, there was a sort of a rumble, and we gave the agents of the Fist a hand in fighting, suppressing some of the resistance. That sort of earned us a spot at the table for us to sort of ask some basic questions, but it didn't seem to us like they were discovering anything particularly revolutionary. As far as the as far as the 3 jobs that you gave us, it seems to me like they were kind of a bust. We did a decent job, but
Well, whether or not you are aware of any significant information you gleaned from these investigations, let me assure you that a message was delivered.
I'm gonna give Imelda the side eye because it's kind of what I feared.
Well, I understand that you wanted a message to be delivered, and I think that we did. I think you're right. We did deliver it. But as you recall, the reason that we got involved in this case was because we wanted to figure out the identity of the murderer of the, my lord the Duke.
Yes.
And it doesn't seem like exerting your will on these rather puny people in the city is getting us anywhere closer to that goal.
The leadership of the guild have been in hiding for far too long. The main purpose of these sorts of investigations are to root them out. We believe they have a plan in motion, and if we can upset their timetables, make them make a mistake, I believe that's how we're going to catch them.
I can't fault your strategy for trying to, get them to lose a tempo, so to speak, force them to react and change their plans while you move quicker. But what I'm missing is what allows you to conclude that the guild is behind this assassination in the first place. Or is it simply that you have this war against the guild you want to carry out, and it's simply convenient for you that the assassination happened recently and makes a nice pretext?
It's awfully presumptuous of you. The fact is,
I'm an investigator. My job is to ask questions.
They're our top suspect, and we can't know for certain until we get our hands on them. It's 2 birds with 1 stone. They've been the source of countless foul crimes across the city for months. And I believe this murder was the culmination of their activities. Now, we don't have proof on that, but to do that, we need to catch these people and hear it from their mouths. Now, it Skoond, if you would, you have accomplished what I set you out to do very well, and the emotions for him to like come over to you, and I believe we had a payment guaranteed for that, and he drops a sack of gold in each of you. There's 300 gold in each pouch for each of you.
Oh, dope.
What's the purpose of these sumptuous laws that have been passed? Is this in line with delivering the same sort of message to the guild?
In a way, that's another matter, really.
I gesture at my clothes. I just want to make sure I'm on the right side of the law here.
I noticed you did appear different. I apologize for that, but the matter of the sumptuary laws is really more of a Baldurian matter. I'm a traditionalist. It's a matter of going back to the way things, the proud history of Baldur's Gate. For you, I have already verified you were of a noble house from Waterdeep. I can, and I meant to do this anyway. Now that you've proven yourselves with us, motions to Skoond again. He hands you each document that basically says that you're official agents of Silvershield. This will allow you to operate within the upper city safely.
Oh, well, thank you, Duke. Still a little distrustful as I take the scroll from him, but I'll smile and nod all the same.
Well, I've been thinking about what you just said. That the only way to figure this out is to crack down on the guild, and later, get the evidence that they were involved in the Duke's murder. If you're so sure that's the case, surely there would be a use at attacking the problem from the other end. In other words, going back to the original crime and trying to. And I'm positive that there's ground that we haven't covered as far as the original investigation. And in fact, such information might be of extreme use to you if you are able to crack down on the guild later on.
I agree. Your talents might be invaluable in such a matter. In fact, it's funny you bring up the scene of the crime, because the next matter I'd like to discuss with you is another crime that has occurred within the wild.
All right, so I'm just going to sort of glance at Tarse, and sort of I'm going to sort of subtly communicate I'm sort of interested in going along with this. What does Tarse reply to me?
I'm silently, giving that subtle nod back. Yes.
All right, cool.
I don't know if you'd heard the murmurs about widespread vandalism in the city. It's only just started to spread in the upper city, but lower city has had a wave of small crimes across town. One of note are the defacing of various important statues around the city.
Yeah, we've heard of it.
City Watch.
It's on the lips of every crier in town.
Indeed. Well, a new crime is perhaps a culmination of this crime wave has just occurred, and in fact, the crime scene has been cleared and not yet fully investigated. The statue of the beloved ranger, his hands were also removed. This, I'm sure you've seen it. This is the statue at the center of the wide.
What sort of symbolic significance do you think lies in removing the hands of these adored figures? Do you think it's suggesting that the old the sort of old established order in Baldur's Gate is powerless here?
He has a like a frown and like a stern look on his face, and he's like, that could be what they're trying to say. We absolutely need to prove them wrong. The people of the city are I don't want to say terrified, but everybody is. We're losing our ground here. The city is steps away from chaos, and the beloved ranger in particular is a symbol of a great hero from our past, and I think it would do a lot to relieve the minds of the people to see that some modern day heroes more emotions to you if you were on the case, as it were.
Well, I think I speak for both Tarse and myself when I say we'd be happy to look into this. Start this investigation. And I'm also extremely interested in the scene of the crime because it's where all of this stuff went down. Maybe if we can find some, finding the right witness would do a lot to maybe cracking both of these cases, or maybe we can get an insight into one case from the other.
Yeah, not a bad idea at all.
Well, this is your area of expertise, so I leave it in your hands. I leave the hands in your hands.
Thanks. And just to sort of put a pin in it so that we can refer to it later, let's also establish that we chat for like 5 minutes, 5 more minutes to sort of get the bare essentials of the case and what happened, and like the sort of timeline of all the events, so that we don't need to reestablish that later. Is that okay?
Yes. Yeah. We can assume you guys discuss that and some other simple matters, and he offers 150 gold each if you can track down the vandals responsible for this.
On our way out of the room, unless there's more for them to give us in way of direction, I do want to do a knowledge history check and see if that particular statue, if I know what the ranger statue that he's talking about, if there's any specific meaning that might lead us to understand as some other motive of his. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
17?
These defacing of public, major public works is like an embarrassment to his leadership and their rule over the city. And tracking down these vandals would be a way of showing that they're still in control.
So while Tarse is making that, racking his brains, I'd like to do an insight check to see how much of this Lord's words should be taken at face value, and I want to see if he seems to be holding back about anything. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So this is just a straight up +3. It's a 12. I'm sure that's not a particularly insightful.
For a seasoned diplomat such as himself.
Yeah, there's not any information leaks here.
Yeah.
All right, so I guess we'll exit, and then maybe we can sort of have a little quick wrap up conversation between me and Tarse, and then we can cut this another part of the group.
Yes, you can.
Or would you prefer that we just continue this?
But the next thing over here we'll need Nick back.
Okay, well then, so just for the time being, Tarse, let's really I could care less whether this guy's rule is enforced over the city, with one exception. However, there is a glimmer of a point to what he's saying, that this sort of power vacuum does cause extra chaos and violence in the city. So I can sort of see his side of things. But I think that we can, much less, we'll look into this. But what's more important is for us to figure out what's really going on with this murder.
Definitely. I was very suspicious that we were being used to, make some other kind of point that.
And it looks like that's exactly what happened. Yes. Well, here at least maybe if we actually, just out of game, do we know did the two of us know who cut off these hands? It's not like we are aware that somebody else in the party was responsible for that.
No,
I'm sorry.
When they were talking about it last session, I was waiting for you in the wide.
It was probably Zeal. Zeal did it.
Okay, well, what I hope is that while we're appearing to investigate this hand thing, we can get more insight into what's really going on in the city. All right, so let's hit the wide, shall we?
Sounds like a plan.
Okay. Two other things. One, I guess, important thing that would have come up in the 5 minutes of discussion about the case or whatever. Silvershield would also mention, as a side note, and this might be nothing, or it could be directly related. There's a few youths of the youths, teenagers of a few different patriarch families that are have been reported missing. You wouldn't really normally think much of it, kids are kids. But he has a concern based on the timeline that they might have been involved in this. If that turns out to be true, he does not want these people turned into the guard, and he does not want that to become public knowledge that members of the nobility were actually involved with this crime.
Right. Instead, he can use it to make a deal with their families.
Yes, if that turns out to be true, and especially if you happen to apprehend them, bring them in straight to him, not to the guard, and certainly not to the Filthy Fist.
Okay, that's interesting. In classical history, the people who usually get busted for defacing these public statues usually are the young elite.
I wonder if some of these younger elites are sympathetic to the feelings of members of the guild and the general population in Lower City.
The way I see it, I mean, how could you not be? Come on, you grow up with characters like that Silvershield lording it over you.
Don't I know it? I had that kind of family history myself. I never felt like I was part of the elite crowd, and I sympathized more with people maybe a little below my station. Of course, I still had a place of privilege, and I still hung out in the nice taverns, but I definitely saw a different side of things.
Well, so what kind of information did we get about these people who are missing? Did we get any actual identities, or did he leave it vague and just say like some youths of some local noble houses?
He left it vague. Insight would tell you he doesn't want to. Basically, if it was known that he gave you this information, then kind of implicates him.
Right. We would need to find a credible way of investigating them ourselves, because otherwise it'll just look like he has them as the prime suspect. And it seems to me like he does, because why else would he tell us that? Okay, good to know.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, since I don't really have any other suspects, that's my best guess at the moment too. Recently missing, I'm sure he meant.
Like they didn't come home last night, essentially. Also, after the meeting, on your kind of way out through High Hall, sweaty, like nervous-looking, and like baggy-eyed noble grabs your arm and introduces himself as S-Girl Nerthamas.
The lead singer of a new heavy metal band.
That's quite the name, sir. I'm sorry, I wouldn't say
that. He introduces himself as the city's master of cobbles, which is,
well, Master of Cobbles, what can we do for you?
He says, I don't know all the business you were here involved with, but I believe you might be investigating the vandalism of the statues.
Well, there's a lot of recent intriguing events in this city, and the longer I stay here, the more I feel that I'm bound to get swept up in almost every single one of them. So, yeah, you could say we're interested in that.
As Master of Cobbles, my responsibilities are upkeep of the roads, bridges, and the city's public stonework.
So it fell under your authority, and rather than that of, say, a religious institution.
That's right. And as such, this investigation is of considerable importance to me. In fact, it's very untimely. There were many other pressing matters to attend to. You can roll insight.
Okay. Yeah, I'll roll an insight. Ooh, this time it's a decent roll. That's a 19.
He was he's like an up and coming noble who wanted to who had plans to kind of like get himself to a different position. But this thing is also going to be like a humiliation for him if it can't be solved.
Well, perhaps, we're certainly interested in any aid you can provide us. In fact, the most important aid that I can think of would be, sort of based on that insight, I'm going to guess that he is sort of a noble administrator, but doesn't have that much engineering expertise. Like, he's not the one who actually works with the stone.
That's right.
So I'd like to invite him to provide us with someone in his office who actually is like an experienced engineer who can give us insights about like how the crime was done and stuff.
I can get you in touch with those people. Yes.
Great, and it would be the best would be if one of us could actually accompany us to the scene of the crime.
If you were given some documentation of your being an agent of Silvershield, that will suffice. I can tell you we've already roped off the area, and we're waiting for the Duke to assign an official investigator for this, which I presume is now you.
That's correct.
But the main message I want to get across is, and he lowers his voice, make these devils pay with their souls. Save the city the expense of a trial. And he throws you each a sack, just of gold. There's 50 gold for each of you, and there's another 100 in it if you can do this for me.
I'm sorry, but that's going too far. I'm in this as a detective, and I'm not interested in making people pay with their souls. The way I see it, there's been too many people paying with their souls in this city all too recently. I'm going to decline this payment, although I want to crack this case.
That level of, I'm going to chime in and add, that level of, say, justice is very personal, and not being personally involved, I don't feel comfortable dealing that out. But we'll still look to see and get to the bottom of who did this.
I understand. But just please find them, make them pay. We need to get to the bottom of this.
I'll agree with you on that last point.
Very well. Let me know if there's anything further I can do for you.
Sure.
Hey, I'm back.
Sweet.
All right.
Awesome. Welcome back. We're in Upper City. Imelda and Tarse are also now on the missing hands case, investigating another, a more recent and higher profile of all the different statues. The beloved ranger at the center of the Wide has also lost its hands. And with that,
shall we shift our focus to the rest of the party?
Perhaps, but timeline-wise, you guys are still a little bit before them, and there's a chance that this investigation will actually get you to Outer City, and we maybe would have the whole party together.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let's try and shoot for that outcome, I guess.
Yeah.
For meta reasons.
Yeah. Do you want to speak with anyone else or do anything else before going to the crime scene?
Well, I'd like to hook up with one of the people on this, not ministry, but, the sort of, roads department.
The cobble administration?
The cobble administration, or whatever the heck they're called. I'd like to see if we can get somebody from that group to, who's, knows about, sort of like a sort of qualified engineer to come with us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Great.
It's not her at all. Yes, you have a knowledgeable engineer with you.
So my plan of attack is to use this person to, I'll do my forensics over the scene, but I want someone like this to be able to support or shoot down educated guesses about things like, how many people were here, what kind of tools were used, did they climb up it, did they assemble a scaffold, any of that stuff.
Okay.
And definitely things like, could a hand be removed by one person? Do they need at least 2 people per hand? How long would it take to cut through the statue? I mean, the whole 9 yards, yeah.
Okay. Very good. In that case, you make your way to the Wide. The operations of the Wide are things of when you got there in the morning and there was the initial confusion over the sumptuary law. Things have calmed down, but it's less busy because several merchant stalls are temporarily shut down while the merchants are dealing with fines or possibly a little bit of jail time.
Do we notice the guy we harassed the other day? Is he still around?
He is, because he is a patriarch, so he's allowed to wear his normal garb. Yeah. And in fact, he's actually has a decent. No, I can't remember. I think his location is kind of near the Beloved Ranger statue. Although, perhaps unfortunate man as he is, like he had to like move his stall because of the investigation going on.
So this would be a good time for us to recall. Normally, this place is sealed off in the middle of the night, right? Like people show up with their stalls and carts and wares, and then they ship them out of here every single day, right?
That's right.
So there's no merchants who, and we would have asked this actually the first time we had come by. There's no merchants who like leave their stuff around here overnight.
So there's a few booths like on the fringes that are like more permanent, that aren't just like wagons or whatever, or carts. But in the center, it's open at night.
And presumably there's a watch over it, or presumably not. I mean, this thing happened.
City guard on patrol all around city.
Yeah.
But because of the level of fog that there is almost every night, like people walk around with torches or have those hired use with the lamps on a stick or whatever. That will like escort people, but after about 7 or 8 o'clock, this place is pretty barren. You can only see, 10 feet in front of you.
Okay. So it's sort of an even. It's sort of even odds either way. Whether the person who did this was sort of snuck here during the day, concealed themselves in one of these more or less permanent structures, and then went into the deed, or else they just could have snuck in. That's all. They're both possible.
Yeah,
and none of them seems particularly.
Patrols, though, in Upper City, and remember, the city guard know the patriarchs and their approved like guests by face. Like all of them know every resident somehow in Upper City reasonably well by face, and anybody who's not allowed to be here is kicked out at night. So yeah, it would have been extremely risky to hide out there to do this.
Imelda, it sounds plausible then that perhaps some payments were involved.
You mean like payment to a guard to look the other way?
Or to several guards to take their patrol slower. That kind of thing.
That seems extremely credible to me.
Especially if the suspects come from means.
Okay. Well, that's something we can be aware of after we extend our search. Let's start by looking at the actual crime scene. Eh?
Okay. Let's get an investigation, either from both of you, or if you want to like aid one of you, aid the other.
So my investigation is at +5.
Yeah, I will aid you. I have a +2.
Okay, great. So then I'll roll this at advantage. And then, Mike, it's your call how you want to rule. Of course, you rule the contributions of the nameless NPC that we've dragged along here. The structural engineer or whatever. Oh boy, we roll a natural 20 on the dice, taking our investigation roll to a 25.
Okay. Well, the like mathematical equations start going through your brain as you find a whole bunch of different pieces of evidence. Most notably in this cordoned off area, the hands of the Beloved Ranger are missing, and that you find this. I don't know if you remember from the map where you played before. There's sort of like a little iron fence around it, and there actually is like grass around it.
I believe I actually missed that.
Yeah.
So
that was in the fight, with the demon and all that.
I was out of town for those, so I missed them.
Oh, that's right. So anyway, that's the case. You can't. It's just a short, little like 2-3 foot tall fence that you can easily step over. It's just so people aren't supposed to walk right up to the statue. But kind of looking around in the grass and shrubs at the foot of the statue, you find a brooch and a broken or at least damaged dagger. The dagger has bits of some kind of like dust, like a white dust on the pommel, and the blade is like severely gouged. And the brooch bears the symbol of some sort of family crest on it, which your official with you identifies. Actually, do you want to show it to him? You were kind of instructed to keep it secret if there was like noble involvement.
Let's keep that detail to ourselves. While we're hiding that, we'll have the guy look at the dust on the pommel and tell us if that is the dust that would of the sort that would come from trying to hack a hand off a statue with a dagger.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you can even kind of like get the dagger up, climb up there, and kind of like see where. Yeah, it looks like this thing was used like a hammer, like the chisel of a hammer and chisel. And then
like maybe the point was inserted into a weak part of the statue, and then it was hammered with a mallet or something like that.
Yeah, and in fact, where it was cut off on his outfit, it's all stone, right? But he had like sleeves of whatever, like his shirt or his there's like a gap where his skin kind of meets the sleeve, and that's where they fit it in and chiseled right in there.
You're saying that the statue, it was not carved out of a single piece of stone, but instead it was kind of assembled, kind of like an action figure, and that this was sort of used to pry it apart?
No, it was a single piece of stone. It's just there was like a gap, or at least if not a gap, there was an indentation there where they could kind of brace it.
Yeah. Okay. This Tarse, this this sort of confirms my suspicion that this might be a sort of noble youth who did this, because if you ask me, anyone who had done a day of work in their life would not have tried to remove the hands of a statue with a dagger. They would have used an instrument to knock it off, like a sledgehammer or something.
Does the dagger look like super cheap, or does it look like something somebody might be proud to own?
It does look fairly fancy, and it's definitely not. It was maybe not even meant to be like a weapon. It would deal the same damage or whatever, but it's more ornamental. Yeah. And it actually also has a different family crest on it.
Yeah, this is definitely pointing in a certain direction. These are not the tools of an experienced vandal or anybody actually trying to do something useful. This is spur of the moment stuff.
Either that, or it's someone with more ideology than practical skills who did this.
Sure.
Does our sort of engineer NPC confirm that, or has reservations?
Without asking explicitly what the crest is, but I mean, if he's handling the knife, it should be pretty plain to see, right?
Yeah, he agrees.
Okie doke. So, can you remind us about the scale of the statue? Like, what I want to figure out next is how many people were involved in this.
It's larger than a person, a normal sized person, but not by a lot. It's maybe like it's on a base that's like maybe 3 feet up tall, and then he's standing. If he were standing ground level, he would be like maybe 10 feet tall.
Okay, but it sounds like this is not the sort of thing where you need, like, another person to boost you up. So it's relatively normal proportion statue, so no reason to assume more than one person was involved. Although, except for the fact that there's this brooch with one crest on it and a dagger with another crest. Seems you've paused your stream, Mike.
I paused the stream? It's just because I
minimized, yeah. Is this particular statue the only defaced one in the wide, or are all the other ones also in the wide, spread around?
No, it's not the only one in Upper City. It is the only one in the wide. There was one other in Upper City at the High House of Wonder, which is like the Temple of God the gnomish induction.
Okay, so
what time of what time are we aware that this happened? Like, was it that the place was sort of locked up for the night and then they discovered the first thing in the morning?
The other ones definitely happened over the night, last night. And this one happened, as far as they know, maybe just after in the early morning. But like before, before the merchants were allowed in.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's interesting.
I'm kind of wondering what the timeline would have been. I mean, it just the distance between these statues, even in Upper City, seems to say that there was multiple groups, either one person or two, because obviously it didn't take a crew to do this one statue. But if there's two separate crests, I think we can assume that there was two individuals here.
Well, I mean, that's a logical inference. I mean, it could just be that someone brought along... I mean, it's awfully convenient to drop a brooch with your family crest right next to a crime scene, isn't it? I mean, you have to agree, Tarse, that if you were doing this, you probably would have not brought along such items. So we have to consider the possibility that we're being played here.
It does seem a little too obvious, but at the same time, to use a dagger to break a statue doesn't seem like someone with a lot of forethought as to practicality.
That is also true. So I guess we just can't conclude the number of people involved.
True.
It could have been one, it could have been many. And with, like the sort of Noma statue, there's still plenty of time, especially if you are a noble, to get across Upper City. I mean, it can't be more than a 20-minute walk, if that. Is what, gone gate to here? Yeah.
Yeah, between these two, probably 20 minutes, yeah.
Yeah, so you could easily...
You could
easily do that, yeah.
You heard about this one because you're in Upper City. You heard that there were other statues around in Lower City, but you don't know specifically like where they were or how far apart they were.
So there's not quite enough evidence for us to conclude really anything about the number of people. If we were to just go with the idea that simple explanations are better than complicated ones, let's just assume for now it was one person who sort of went on a spree. So I guess what we ought to do next is talk to whoever was on patrol in this area last night, or rather this morning.
Yes, I think. Do you think we should inquire about the families that these crests belong to, without drawing full attention to it, to why we want to know?
Yeah, we should find someone who, maybe one of those lamplighters, and what we'll do is instead of showing them the items, we'll just make a copy of the crests on a piece of paper and have them identify the houses.
Well, sure thing. I have some parchment here. I'll just scribble them on down. I hope my artist
make a copy, and then and what's more, we'll ask so that nobody associates the two together. We'll just ask one random person about one and one random person about the other.
That's not a bad idea at all.
Very good. Well, the lamp lads and lasses aren't in operation right now because it's not nowhere. It's it's morning or late.
Sure, but it shouldn't be hard to find a factotum, gopher, lackey.
I mean, there's just people shopping around that you could talk to, or
let's instead go with someone who's in the trades, like somebody who's like obviously doing deliveries or something.
Yes. How about you look for somebody like that? I'm going to look for a merchant, because they are open right now, the Wide City business, right?
Yep.
And then I'm going to look for a merchant that sells, comfortable clothing of my taste, and I'll inquire about one of the crests there.
Okay. I have to ask, since you're back in the Wide and you got permission to wear your clothes again, are you going to go back to where you left your clothes and see if they're still there?
I could do that. I'll take a peek.
Okay. They're gone.
I figured they'd be gone or at least soiled.
Well, now Tarse has the chance to see how efficient the city is. If these merchants are really on top of their game, they'll try and sell you gold clothes.
Yeah, that's a great point. Yeah, no, I'm gonna just look for one of the merchant stalls that seems to have some decent clothing.
Okay. Roll perception.
5.
5. You find it's easy enough to find some with the clothing that suits your style. You don't see your specific clothes there.
Okay, good. I'm going to kind of peruse, and as I'm looking at the different styles, I'm going to pull out the parchment with one of those crests. Maybe I took the one with the brooch.
Okay.
Say shopkeeper, I saw someone wearing this crest, and I just loved the cut of their clothes. I'd love to get something in the style that they're most partial to.
Roll me a deception with advantage.
All right, that is 25, and the other one is 16.
Yeah, that's the raven shave crest. It is very pleasant looking, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah, perhaps. Why don't you take a look at these and you start doing business or whatever? Suggest some garments for you.
Yes, I'll take a set. The full thing. From the I need shoes all the way on up. So I'll have plenty of time to ask the kinds of things like so what business might this family be in, that sort of thing.
Yep.
Small talk, but
it's a merchant family, and you even kind of glean where their residence is.
Perfect.
Okay, cool.
Thank you, good sir. What am I out for gold there, Mike?
For a full set of noble outfit, that'll be 10 gold.
Perfect. I'll report back to Imelda with the Raven Shade family.
So while he's doing that, I guess I'll instead find someone who looks like they do, they're a messenger who do deliveries.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'll deceive with a heavy dash of the truth by saying that I'm I'm new in town. Actually, I'm here from Waterdeep, supposed to deliver a message. But, we've sort of lost part of the instructions. I know that I'm supposed to get in touch with this house with this crest. If you can identify it, there'll be a little bit of a tip in it for you.
All right. Why don't you also give me? This can just be persuasion with advantage.
Sure. Well, Imelda was feeling pretty persuasive, so that gets you to a 25.
Yes, ma'am. Of course, I can help. In fact, I'll bring you there myself. That's the Oberon family.
Oberon, huh? Is that an Elvish name?
That's right.
Of course. All right. Well, yeah, with a name like that, you'd have to have some sort of fairy ancestry. Just so I know what I'm getting myself into, anything about this, is this, what kind of business do they do? You have any dealings with them?
No, I think they're merchants.
Okay, well, as long as, you look like somebody who knows what they're talking about. Actually, I have no idea if they do, but I'm just saying that. So, as long as they don't have any particularly strong reputation one way or the other, I guess that's good enough. All right, and so I figured out their location. So now we have two names and, I guess, 2 locations for where to find them. It shouldn't be too hard.
Yeah. And, in fact, both houses are in the wide. They are just down the street from each other. It's like two homes, like here.
Interesting. Well, Tarse, it looks like this might be our the next place to check.
I think you're right. I think we should inquire if young masters are at home. We may have found some of their belongings.
Before we start inquiring something like that, it would be wise for us to figure out whether they have young masters or indeed young mistresses here. I know that let's not get caught inquiring as to young masters and mistresses that, for instance, recently died or left town or don't exist. We need a little bit more intelligence, I think.
Very true, very true. I think I'm just a little wrapped up in Silvershield's plot. I don't want to have that preconceived notion, so I'll follow your lead on this one.
Okay, let's see. All right, so how do we verify the identity? Okay, it's simple. We just look for the merchant on the nearest corner and, let's see, shoot. See, this is the sort of thing that Imelda and Tarse would know how to, like, kind of do a sort of skip trace or establish the identity of people in a noble family. But I'm drawing sort of a blank on how to do it in this fantasy universe. Any bright ideas, anyone?
Well, we can just speed things along. It's not that difficult. You can tie it to like basically a die roll, another investigation roll. Really.
Sure. Let's abstract it into a die roll.
I'll lay it on that.
Okay, doke. That's a 14.
Yeah, you're able to pretty easily find out that, in fact, yes, both these families are the ones that reported their that they each had a teenager missing, and that's what you find out. You also I guess in your investigations, you, through like kind of a little trail of breadcrumbs, you deduce, I guess, that you guys just know that there are city watch guards posted at any of these gates, and if any patriarchs pass through them, the guards would likely remember, especially if it was just a matter of hours ago.
If that's the case, then we should head for Heap Gate, which is the nearest. So Heap Gate first, then Baldur's Gate. We can just work down along the line and see if there's any anybody who remembers this stuff. I don't think it's worth actually going. I don't think it's actually worth going to the houses of those involved. They've been reported missing. I would like to, search their quarters, but I don't think we have a realistic shot at doing that. And bringing Lord Silvershield's authority into that, I think, would be a poor choice.
Okay.
What do you? Do you agree with that, Tarse? Just want to make sure we're on the same page. Hello?
Are you there, Tarse?
What?
What? What did you say again, Imelda?
I was just saying, in an ideal world, I would like to actually get into these houses and look at the, maybe the rooms and possessions of the people. But I don't think there's any realistic shot at us getting to do that, even with Silvershield's, investigation orders. And plus, I think that we would sort of risk tipping our hand a little bit, maybe, if we did that.
Am I back?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, good. I agree. Let's hit the gates and speak with the guards.
Yeah, maybe before the trail goes cold. If we need to do further information later, we can investigation here later, we can come back.
Sounds good.
All right. You speak with the guard at the gate, and he readily tells you and remembers that, in fact, he saw those kids Evidently, he hadn't heard about this that they'd gone missing yet. The word hadn't gotten to him yet. But yeah, he was like, "Really? They were reported missing? I just saw them. It was just before sunrise this morning."
Did were they together?
Yes.
Okay.
They, in fact, he points to a lamp lad over there. He hired that one there. He works this gate. He just got back from escorting them somewhere.
Really? Well, there might be a hefty tip in it for that kid if he can help us track down those wayward youths. They probably went to out in search of strong tea and a nice fried meal.
Yeah, let's go talk to the lamp lad.
All right, you see the kid. He's like sitting down on a bench, and like he's actually like got a pouch, and he looks like he's like going through, and like he's got like a big smile on his face.
Well, should we play it a little heavy with this one, or should we just be a little more mysterious? What do you think, Imelda?
Well, I'm thinking that if these, I don't know, like these people, if they really were up to no good, they may have told this kid not to tell him where his last customers went.
I think we can assume that the contents of that pouch are more important than keeping his word to a couple of nobles.
Especially if we can offer to increase the size of that reward.
I like the way you're thinking.
I think it's time for a straight-up persuasion check. Hey, kid, you know that reward you just got? We're prepared to make it even sweeter if you give us a little bit of information. And in fact, repeat the same trip you just made earlier this morning.
I'm open for business.
That a boy. What's it going to cost us to get down to the same place you just came back from?
It was a bit of a jaunt. The last group I charged 5 gold.
5 gold? That's highway robbery, son. And I'll slip him another 5 gold.
Okay. All right, right this way. Yeah, it was 2 kids from Upper City. They wanted to go all the way to Brampton to the docks. I can show you the pier that I guided them to.
Did they get on a ship?
Yeah, they looked like they were booking a ferry.
Ferry? Where do the ferries run from those docks?
Could go to any of the other piers or possibly out to Outer City.
Alrighty.
Yeah, take us there. Do you agree, Imelda?
Yeah, I mean, it seems like that's the best move we've got. Maybe we could pick up their trail here at in Brampton, if that's conceivable. So you're saying that you escorted them on foot all the way to Brampton?
Yeah, it was still
and
dark.
Then just came right back?
It was still dark.
And
yeah.
Did you okay, all right.
But yeah, he escorts you there. Mentions, for the price, like they didn't pay me to keep quiet or anything. I'll tell you, they seemed real nervous.
Did they have anything with them?
I didn't search them, and they didn't.
I mean, like a big bag or anything like that?
Big bag. They did have a pouch. Actually, maybe it wasn't a pouch. It was more like it looked more like a cloak that had been taken off and was wrapping something up.
Interesting. Okay. All right.
Sounds like we're on the right trail.
Yeah. So do you remember anything of their conversation?
No, they were. As soon as any of them talked, they were kind of like elbowing each other to shut up, wait till we get there, kind of a thing.
Did you see who they met on the dock, or did you just see them get on a ferry?
I as soon as the ferry was in sight, we parted ways.
Can you, when you parted ways, let's try and establish the exact time it was. Do you recall what the clocks were chiming, or who on the street was coming out? Anything anything at all you could read that could help us pin down the exact time?
It was just about sunrise. You could just see the sky changing color.
If that's the case, Tarse, then we can figure out what ferry arrived here at sunrise. Those old coots down at the pier would always know such stuff.
Yeah, agreed. So I think once we get to the pier, that's our next stop is just see. I don't know. I'm sure there's somebody that's hanging out doing some sort of cataloging of who's coming and going.
Sorry, go ahead.
It occurs to me that we might have a slight retcon here, in that this time frame when you'd be passing all the way through Lower City is when the chaos is really starting to ramp up. There are like people chanting, like down with the patriarchs, things of that nature. You hear like shattered glass as like bricks are thrown in windows, little trash piles on fire, and actually by the time you get to this docks area, you even see like not weapons not being drawn, but actually like scuffs happening between Flaming Fist and some dock workers.
Holy crap!
In fact, there's a chance you probably might have seen a couple of your party members, Zashar and Diabroth, working with the Flaming Fist.
Well, I mean, we saw Zashar we saw them working with the Flaming Fist at the Low Lantern bus, but you're saying right here, like in Eastway?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
And we established that they spent, a few hours working with Flaming Fist patrols, just kind of like stopping little minor revolts, and dock workers were like pissed. Apparently, there's a lot of unrest over this shutdown of the Low Lantern. People were like, "Well, that's our favorite place. Like, how do you do this? Times like this, we need a place to go. Take a load off. Things of that nature." And they spent several hours, like kind of getting. They even got like a few blows. Like some things came to like minor little fist fights and took some hit point damage or whatever. It looked like they were probably like too busy, like putting down all this crime to really like you might have had a quick conversation, but I guess that's about it.
Okay, well, just for the sake of an interesting story, let's say that did happen. Okay, so then we're at Brampton, and for a job like this, I don't know. Maybe we could either I'm just trying to figure out what the quickest way is to establish that. Maybe this is the sort of thing that we could just do an investigation check for to figure out which ferry was it that was here at sunrise exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'll just roll a straight investigation check.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe for this, Tarse, you can aid me. Okay, this time it was a 20. That's a 21.
21. With the description you're able to give, you're actually able to find out that ferry, the same exact one and the same exact person, is already back at this pier, and you're able to meet with them.
Oh, great. Well, same as before, we'll offer a modest bribe in exchange for some information.
For let's say a silver.
Oh yeah, and I'll. So Tarse, this time I'll get it.
Okay.
For a silver, he tells you, yeah, he took some kids. They wanted to get to Outer City without going through the Basilisk Gate. So he took them to Twin Songs, and overheard that they were looking to. I figured out that they were trying to. I don't know exactly what, but they were trying to hawk or at least offload something that they didn't want to sell legitimately, I think, or maybe they were just trying to get rid of it. And they'd mentioned when they found out I was kind of on the level. They were suggesting going with this guy they knew, Hadru. He's got a pottery shop, a friend of theirs, I guess, or a friend of the family in Outer City. I suggested that they go to there's a pawn shop up in Little Calimsham if they wanted to sell something discreetly. I don't want.
Well, I don't want to be too meta, but maybe this is our chance to reunite the party in Little Calimsham. So in which case we would be actually rather than taking the ferry ourselves, we would simply just walk up there on over land.
Yes.
And go through the Basilisk.
Yeah.
That would be the better one.
Yeah. I mean, if that's what where he's saying they were headed, that's the best idea.
Okie doke.
Yeah. He said he dropped him off at Twin Songs. He doesn't know if they took his advice or if they went to the place that they were considering.
Well, rather than roll the dice on going to Twin Songs and trying to pick up their trail again, I think we've been lucky enough. Let's check out some of the clues in order, and the next one in order is this one in Little Calimsham.
Yeah, it would be the first place. The pottery shop is actually down in on the bridge in Holmes Crossing. So.
Near where we interrogated that person the other day.
That's right.
Okay, yeah. So we'll hit the Basilisk Gate and go to Little Calimsham.
All right. So.
Thanks for waiting, guys.
Phew. All of that being said, we can switch maps. Is everybody still here?
Do we need to get our dice ready?
You probably will need to get your dice ready now.
Okay.
Let's see what it is. Jay, are you there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's there.
Good. I think. Well, we got like maybe half an hour, so we probably won't make it through this whole encounter. But we can get started.
Oh no, are you gonna crash?
Let's see.
Are you doing the entire Baldur's Gate again?
Yeah, we're loading the whole big map.
Oh my goodness. I don't know how yours can load it, but mine can't, even though I have a desktop that's way more powerful.
It might have to do with being the host of it versus.
Yeah. True.
If
you probably have a lot of the assets saved on your computer.
Yeah.
All right. I'm ready to roll. I'm kind of mad I took ability scores instead of a feat. I was reading those while I was waiting. I should have taken sharpshooter. I'd be doing massive damage every time I shoot that thing.
Oh, it's loading. So Jay, we established that you'd followed Zashar and Diabroth to the Callum Jewel Emporium, and you wanted to basically kind of like hide out and keep an eye on what happened there, right? Are you there, Jay?
I heard him earlier, but now I can't hear him. I saw you unmute and mute, or mute and then unmute. Yeah, when you first asked, I heard him.
Yes.
Can we hear you?
Oh, no. You can hear him?
No, I can't.
Oh, okay. That sucks.
Oh, no.
Can you hear me now?
Hey.
There you go.
There you are. Something about my headset goes screwy sometimes. But anyway.
Yeah. So did you hear everything we said before? I was asking, like, so you followed them basically to Little Calimsham, right?
Yeah.
So the scene, I guess, and I don't know how close you want to get without acting conspicuous. Like, you can blend into the crowd here really well, and there's plenty of people around. Little Calimsham is like a small pocketed like area, right? And it's like noon, so there's a lot of people around. And we're not exactly where Little Calimsham is. This map doesn't go all the way out to Ever City, but these walls will say this is not, the Basilisk Gate, which is where the map actually is. But we're just going to say this is the gate. To Little Calimsham. So this is the
I have a great disguise, but yeah, I'm not going to get that close.
Oh, that's right. Ooh, I'm getting some echo.
Yeah, it's okay, there you go.
So Zashar and Diabroth arrived with 3 Flaming Fist privates, like lower-ranking guards, and 1 sergeant. And they are inside interrogating this girl who introduced herself as Leah. And one of the guards stay outside with with this guy who was appeared to be like a bouncer, I guess. And they're having a conversation, but he's also just kind of watching to make sure he doesn't go anywhere. And so, Jay, I put you here, but I guess let me know if there'd be a better location where you'd like to be. This we're gonna say is like a major, maybe more of a main road, so there is a lot of like people walking back and forth. So it kind of you look less. Well, I'll leave it up to you. Actually.
Yeah, no, that's probably about where I'd be.
All right. In that case, I need you to roll perception.
I got a 2.
Perfect. All right, if you could mute, I guess, so we don't get the feedback. Pair of hands. One covers your mouth, and one has a knife to your throat and pulls you slightly around the corner. And into I guess the slightly into not quite the building, but the arch over it, and says, I know you're one of the so-called heroes of the Wide. I know you've done some work for us. It's the only reason I'm not killing you now. This this business over here with the fist is going to get bloody. You can help us. You can leave, but you cannot join in with your friends inside. And with that, she releases you, and you can try and turn around and see who it is, but you can roll a perception as well. But what you're immediately going to see is just the back of a very nondescript person with the hood up who fades into the crowd very quickly. But tell me what you'd like to do. But also something will happen right after that.
Okay. I'm going to pull out my two-handed axe and start running towards the establishment.
Okay. You can mute again. Zeal, I assume are you just relining it for the Emporium?
I am.
Okay. Great. Then you're going to see at the same time as Jay. Jay, I'm going to tell you.
And in the note before, I said I was disguised.
You are disguised?
Yeah.
Okay.
They won't recognize me.
Did you roll a deception for your disguise kit?
It was just in the note last time. I can roll right now.
Yeah, let's see it.
16.
Okay. So you guys will need to roll perception or possibly insight. Although,
Depends if I get in range.
yeah, it depends how close you are. Jay, one other detail that you would have noticed with this person is they, as you kind of looked down and saw the hand on the blade, you noticed they were missing a finger. And you noticed and as you are rushing towards the house, and Zeal, you notice this too. 2 arrows thump into this flaming fist soldier, and he shouts in pain and falls to the ground.
No, Charles.
That's not Charles. So let's have everybody roll initiative. Oh yeah, and Imelda and Tarse. Let's just say you're not in the first round, but you're very close. You're on the street here, and as soon as the sounds of actual combat break out, you're going to hear it. So you guys can roll.
What a coincidence!
Amazing, isn't it?
Okie dokie. Do you want us to put it in the chat?
Yes.
Oh no.
And is anyone willing to, I guess, play Zashar, who's maybe more comfortable or competent with, I guess, a barbarian?
He's inside with Diabroth.
That's right.
Diabroth could probably do the rolls, I think, but
Yeah, I could roll for him.
You guys can, I guess, look at his sheet and do it by committee. You need me to do a link to his character sheet?
I can pull it up on D&D Beyond myself.
Yeah, I'll just quick. I think you guys can all get access to it. I'll just.
Yeah, no, we can all look at it, but we can't change it.
Right. There's his character sheet.
Well, that's just his stats. That's fine. I have his sheet up. Oh no, what happened to the stream?
Oh, do I have it minimized again?
Probably.
Oh, is it?
There it is.
Anytime I'm not actually clicked on it, I see it doesn't show up in Discord.
Yeah.
Okay. Good to know. So I need initiative for Zashar then.
Okay. I'll roll it since I have it up. +1. He got 16. 1-6.
Okay.
Milda's a shard. Well, I mean, it depends on what's going on because the shard's inside and Milda's outside.
Yeah. Let's. Imelda, would you prefer to go before or after Zashar? And you're muted.
Sorry, Discord was freaking out. For realism's sake, let's have me go after, because I'm sort of new to the situation and kind of confused.
Okay. Yeah, and you and Tarse we're going to have join in the second round anyway. Let's see, do I have everybody? No, I need to roll the Flaming Fist folks. Okay. They are going to go here. All right, so Zeal, you see this arrow fly in, and before you can react, you hear, actually you see who it came from.
Nice. They have recognizable clothing.
They do. And in fact, there's four women with different armor and different weapons, and each wearing a like a bit of cloth on their shoulder of 4 different colors. One black, one red, one white, and one blue. And they shout out, heroes! We're with the Cult of the Dragon. We're the Dragon Wings, and we're here to stop you. Come on out.
Okay.
The Cult of the Dragon is here.
And Zeal, it's your turn.
All right. Well, I think it's red in front of me.
Yep.
What is red wearing?
Red has scale mail armor. So like
Ooh, a heavy hitter.
Yeah, decent metal armor, and is wielding a warhammer.
Well, if they're that, then they can't keep up with me. How far away am I from them?
Wait, one other thing.
Okay.
Well, no other thing yet.
Okay.
How far away are you? Let's see. I wonder if these units. Actually, I need measured movement. All of you.
I missed us up and down.
Oh, it isn't. Check. And let's see if these units make sense. So,
15 centimeters. You want inches or centimeters? I guess you just decide whether it works
Do
best.
whichever one looks most reasonable. I was thinking you were going to be like 30 feet away.
Okay, that's what I thought you were gonna do.
Good. Yeah. So that's 30 feet.
All right. Well, I'll move back 15. Shoot her in the face.
Okay.
I'm guessing I'm not surprising her, or no advantage on this.
You need. Well, you.
They have no idea I'm there.
You're beelining it. I don't know if you wanted to be stealth or not. I guess.
No, I'd be running.
Yeah.
Is there a bunch of people around, or is it just them?
I mean, yeah.
I mean, like,
there are regular people that I'm not going to put on here that were. Well, you know what? Actually, strangely, this area immediately around it has cleared out. But I mean, there's this Flaming Fist came in here and are doing some rest on this place. So there's no regular people here. There are still regular people on the street out here.
I'm just not sure if I want to murder someone else just yet. Okay, so I will shoot them in the face with an arrow.
All right.
I'll try to. Well, 17 plus 6, so 23.
23?
Mine.
Yeah, you easily.
Pretty sure. Yeah. I was on the chars.
Okay. Yeah, sorry, I forgot I needed to switch these two. Yeah, the red one's still here, though.
Okay. Oh. The 6 plus in total. If that 23 hits. So.
Yeah, the 23 hits.
Okay, 10 total.
10 damage? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So she was facing, away from you. So you hit her in the back. And she looks around like, and looking around to see who shot that.
Oh, I guess I could move out of her sight range to that cunning action and hide. Can I obscure myself at least a quarter on or at least half on that building corner?
You can certainly try to. I'll let you roll stealth.
Yeah.
I kind of like maybe in this first round, this circumstance, like you say, you're really not supposed to be able to roll stealth at all. Like once combat started, why don't I give you stealth at disadvantage?
A disadvantage, okay. Well, a 17 and a 5, but I get a plus 8, so 13.
Okay. Great. Then it is Flaming Fist's turn. This guy is down. You're not sure if he's dead or not. I guess there's this guy too. He's just backing up for the moment, and the Flaming Fist inside, like you guys were talking to this woman, but they're like, "What the hell was that? Get out there!" So they're all rushing out, and you guys, I guess, will decide what you're doing on your turn. This guy's gonna run right up to out here and be like, "Quick! For the Flaming Fist!" Oh shit! This area is such a huge map; it can be hard to manage camera controls here. Actually, these two are going to go here. Yeah, take that back. Sergeant's going to run over here. And these two guys are going to go on this guy. Okay. So, two regular guards attacking the one wearing white. She's wearing hide armor and has a spear. Yeah, and these two both attack kind of in unison, and she like smacks both their swords out of the way. Over here, this guy's attacking the one wearing black, who is actually wearing robes and doesn't have any weapon out. And he attacks twice with his longsword. Hits once for a really good hit. And then it is going to be, and it's actually going to be the one wearing black's turn. All right, she saw that her ally in red got hit by an arrow. She looks back and doesn't see where it came from.
Nice.
And she's like, "Little help here," over to our friend in red, and casts a spell.
Is there a disadvantage if you have someone on you? I'm just curious.
No, not necessarily. You usually don't. It can break your concentration if you have a concentration spell up, which actually. I doubt this one's concentration. No, it's not. She throws a hand out, and some green liquid splashes out of it and hits him in the face.
Ew.
And he grabs his face and as it appears that he's splashed with some acid.
You mean acid splashed everywhere?
It did. And where are my dice?
DM without dice.
Yeah, let's see my d6. I can do this.
Don't forget to make him get like a twisted personality based on some mental quirk. If like half his face is scarred.
Well, it wasn't a critical hit. Oh yeah, and actually, they don't make the attack roll. It's a dexterity save. Okay, I rolled damage. It wasn't a lot. And then it is Zashar. So you guys, I guess, need to decide what Frank would do in this circumstance. You have this person that you've been interrogating, who, I guess to, what is this supposed to be here? Who may or may not. I mean, I guess you think she works in this. She works or owns this pawn shop, and may or may not know about the hands that if any hands have been sold there.
I figure Jashar will tell her, "Oh, we'll be back for you. You're not going anywhere," and he'll arm himself and run out the door.
Okay. Seeing the situation, who would he run towards?
With the nearest one, because he. Oh.
I guess I didn't describe the other ones. The one wearing white that the two regular Flaming Fist guards went to
had hide in a
hide armor and a spear.
You didn't, and that's scale mail with the hammer, name,
and then blue has leather armor and a bow out.
Okay.
I think he would see the two people attacking them and be like, well, we can just finish one off and go to the rest. That's the closest one, too.
Yeah, I think he'd want to help his Flaming Fist brothers and outnumber that one.
Okay. There isn't really room to get around on this side. He'd have to go around here. I guess he might run and get all the way around behind.
Might run that way and then see white, red, and see red wearing the heavy armor and be like, I can take him. I don't know if he's used his rage yet. I'm not saying he's going to rage now. I'm just not sure. For the day.
Well, he probably will rage
at some point.
Yeah.
Well, at the least, he'd get around and probably help out his friends. I'd say just go after blue, no, black, white. What is that one? White? It's white. There you go. Yeah, white.
Yeah.
I think he'd go after white. He'd probably want to just not get him out. Dwindle the number.
Yeah, he'll try to get into position. What?
Yeah, I guess he, in theory, has enough movement to get to here, and then he could, in theory, circle around behind.
Mm-hmm.
But once he gets to here, you would see that red's here.
Yeah.
Alex, I still think he would help white out.
Yeah, he's gonna attack white.
Okay.
Rolling or I'm rolling?
Go ahead.
Is he gonna rage?
Well, he's attacking.
When he starts his rage, don't things take fire damage or something?
Within 10 feet. Oh, yeah. He probably. Oh no, it's at the start of every turn too. I don't think he needs the rage right away.
Yeah, he wouldn't do it with Zalas that close.
Yeah, he wouldn't. He doesn't even know how many people are out there yet, so I don't think this is the time for him to rage. I think this is just be an attack with flanking, right?
Yeah.
An extra +1 for that?
+1, yeah.
Okay, so he only has a longsword and a javelin? Okay. Oh, I guess he'd do a longsword. He's using two-handed. There it is. I was like, where's the two-handed? Okay, so it's a D10 if he hits. The longsword. Oh! I roll a 20.
Oh. You got a natural 20?
I got a natural 20s.
Oh, boy. Well, shoot. Frank's not here for the...
double damage?
I should have had this ready. Yeah, so I don't have the regular... extra crits, so we'll just do regular. Extra, double the dice.
Okay, just double the dice. So I've got 1d10. I guess I'll roll 100 because I don't know. Oh, there it is. So 2. All right, so you have 2d10 plus 3. Jesus Christ. 9, 10, 19.
19.
Is he using it two-handed, or does he have a shield out?
Well, if he's going to rage, he's not going to hold a shield.
Yeah, he does. He does sometimes.
He does? Oh, no.
I don't know.
Oh, I'm playing him right now. He used it two-handed because I already made that decision before. So no shield.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, he like circles around behind her and swings in like right into her like her abdomen in her lower back. And then it's Diabroth.
Well, I will follow Shar out the door and I'll what's the? I guess it's the white is closest, right?
Mm-hmm.
But can I get into a position to?
It's getting pretty crowded around white, but
Do I see the captain or who's that other flaming fist guy?
yeah, the other flaming fist went over here against the one in robes, and the one in the red, who looks definitely like a fighter type wearing heavy armor, hasn't gone either direction yet.
Can I make it to the?
There's an archer over here.
Can I make it to the fighter type?
Red.
Yeah, you know what? Actually, come to think of it, you guys had some movement within the building, so you should have had like your full 30 feet. So let's just say Zashar only just got to here, and you probably wouldn't have enough movement to get around white. Yeah, could you make it to red? Let's see. Let's say you have 20 feet left. So no.
Okay, so I can't make it to anyone, right?
You could dash, but you won't attack.
I can't make it to the archer.
If you dash, you could.
Uh,
Yeah, the archer is 40, almost 50 feet away.
Well, then give him disadvantage at range attacks.
I'm just gonna channel divinity, sacred weapon, and get as close as I can to the fighter.
Okay.
So in between me and Shishar, can I get through there? Shishar,
Are you trying to get the red, the one that's by himself?
Oops.
yeah,
Okay.
This one?
yeah,
You want to try
I
and
wanna-
advance towards that one?
in between,
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, you could get to here. This is as close as you can get. Probably can't fit you in there.
Okay,
A little small. Yeah, if you go that way, that's as far as you can get.
okay.
All right. So poor Sergeant is all on his own. All right. So you channeled. All right, Jay. And
Okay, so can I get up? How far am I there? That's
you
it.
are pretty close. You are 35 feet from.
Okay.
Yeah, you actually could get up and attack.
Okay, you think I can attack? Okay. Well, I'm going to do that, obviously.
Well,
As long as they're within 5 feet. So you can go 30 and they're 5 feet away.
I think you might just be like 5 feet shy.
Isn't it if they're within 5 feet, you can still attack them?
Yeah, but you need to be here, and you can only get to here.
Okay. Well,
I have a bow.
guess I'll just dash up next to her.
Dang, she's
And
getting.
I'll say, Sashar, it's me, Jay. You might not recognize me.
Oh,
I'd be curious to see everyone's perception checks to see if they do, in fact, recognize you.
Star rolled 11, but has a plus 0, so 11.
He did not recognize you, probably.
I rolled a 19.
Didn't I have a 7 though? I thought I had a 7 when I rolled it.
Was it pretty low? All right.
That was
It was quite low. It was quite low.
All right. Then everybody recognizes you.
Yeah, you just have like a fake mustache on or something.
Yeah, pretty much. The makeover was not very successful.
All right. A bunch of the rest of them are going to go. Actually, I want Zashar to roll an insight.
Insight. Okay, what does he have? +2. Yes, Eric. 13.
Zashar realizes that this person has the same kind of training he does as a barbarian and is raging.
Oh, nice. And that person needs to die. Quick.
If you say so. But first, we got Blue. Blue is going to come over to 30 feet. Oh, it's so hard to fit something in here. Over to here, and going to shoot at the Flaming Fist. Well, you know what? Actually, with everything going on over here, she's going to shoot this regular Flaming Fist guy.
I can use my reaction, can I?
You want to give her disadvantage?
Yeah.
Yeah, you absolutely can.
Help my flaming first brother.
She'll attack at disadvantage. You guys see that when the arrow comes out of her bow, that there are little arcs of electricity following it.
Oh.
So with disadvantage, this guy has a chain shirt on and a shield. She still just gets it. And yeah, the arrow hits in his back, and you're like, as some electricity arcs into him. Speaking. Wow. Okay. Sorry. A heavy blow, and he collapses. These guys are just level 1, right? Level 1 fighters.
Well, I tried to help them.
You did.
He's not dead yet. Or maybe, I don't know.
Pick him back up with a touch of my hand.
Next up, White is going to go, seeing not the tide turn, but at least an opening. She will whistle over to the guy by the door, who rushes up to take the place over that dead body. Not dead body, fallen body. And
Wait, you're part of the cult of the dragon too?
well, you joined in anyway.
I thought they were days away. What the hell?
Strange. And he's going to attack. You know what? Actually, he's going to run up and smack Diamond off in the back. And she's going to face off with Sushar. What's Sushar's armor class?
No shield. Hold on. No shield. Oh yeah, I can't unclick it. So if no shield, it's 13. Since he's not raging.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. In that case, Shar is stabbed with a spear
Oh, shit.
for 10 damage.
Oh, ouch.
He's still feeling good. She won't be next turn.
Meanwhile, Red needs to help out the one in black. She's going to run over here. And swing her Warhammer. And let's see. Maybe no one really has a good look on it, a good view on it. So nobody sees what happens. But he is struck.
And killed.
And no, he's not killed. He's a captain. He's stronger.
He's level 2.
I think he's probably level 3. I don't know that.
She is using it two-handed.
You go ahead.
Okay. That's technically the end of the round. Tarse and Imelda, we skipped. And we're just going to do one cinematic thing and we'll end it here. Zeal. Some voice whispers in behind you. It says, "You idiot. The girls are with us."
Well, luckily they didn't see me.
And that's all that you hear. And we'll end it there.
The guild is with the cult of the dragon. It's horrible.
That's at least the construction that one could put on it, or else they're just trying to take us out. Well, I guess I wouldn't know because I'm not even on the scene yet. So we're going to have some very, very quick inferences made at the start of next session, I think.
Well, depends on what Zeal is willing to share and what side he joins in on here.
What a cliffhanger.
Wasn't finding someone with 9 fingers important? Or inversion?
You know that. But I don't know if Jay knows that or how much information you guys shared with each other. We'll need to talk about that next time.
Yeah.
That was explicitly told to Zashar and Diagoth. You were told that the leader of the guild is known as 9 Fingers.
Okay.
I don't think that Jay had heard that.
Yeah, I don't think I know.
Zeal, you have heard of 9 Fingers just from being in Baldur's Guild. So that's where we stand.
That was great. I'm glad we're all back together again.
I might have to talk to Mike for a little bit.
I'm glad we're doing a fight again.
Brad, I'm glad you could stick around for the last little bit there.
I figured it'd be wrapped up just before, the round restarted, so that was perfect. Alrighty. Well, take it easy, guys. I'll catch you next week.
Oh, I spelled that wrong, but
See you next time.
but so charge damage in the dungeon chat.